something has happened before. There's hardly anything that will happen to you now that has never happened to you before, or happened to somebody that you know before. Maybe you didn't even take note. And I can assure you that even if you die now, if you can remember, somebody else has died before. You are not going to be the first person that will die, honestly. If you are ill, you get to see that somebody else has been ill before. If you should visit the hospital, you may remember that you have been like that before. And whatever the tough time that comes, you are so broke to the extent that you even had to go borrow. You remember that you have done that before. Now, if you understand that, why is it that at a particular point of the year, I'm always broke and sorrowful? Maybe usually the time you have to pay house rent. Maybe usually the time you have to pay school fees. Or usually the time that you have to settle some obligations. And you begin to look at the patterns of your life for the past 2 years, for the past 3 years, for the past 5 years, for the past 10 years, for the past 20 years. And you see that these things are recurrent. This is the only way that you can begin to adjust your life. This is what I mean. By looking at those patterns, why is it always like this? If you understand these patterns, then you begin to understand how you are going to look into the future. You are going to look at the thread that connects the past, the present, and the future. And you are going to understand that we, as all human beings, we are all sharing in these same patterns together. We all share in these patterns of life together. And whenever this happens to you, you begin to see your stories in the stories of others. You begin to see your own narratives in the narratives of the lives of others. You begin to see yourself in the mirror of other people. And when this happens, just remember, the universe has a mischievous sense of humor sometimes. And understanding the patterns of life might just involve a cosmic punchline that leaves you laughing all the way to enlightenment. Sometimes you just begin to find some things funny if you understand these patterns of life very, very well. When you see that at a point in the month, you are always very broke, 15th of the month, 16th of the month, then you begin to realize, well, it's possibly because I'm a salary earner and I don't have any extra income. And the salary is the same. In fact, that is the most rhythmic experience you can ever have. The pattern of receiving your salary every month. You know, it's rhythmic. It's like the moon is full and then the moon is half. Then they call it the month. And then the moon and the month, they begin to synchronize. And then you get to see that as the moon is reaching the full moon, then it seems you are getting happier by that time because you have just received your salary. And then as the moon is reducing and receding, then your salary begins to reduce and recede. Somewhere from the lunar calendar to the lunacy that happens to you because you are getting broke at a particular point in time, and you begin to behave like a lunatic at a point in the month. So this lunacy has its own pattern. There's a pattern in the month when you actually go crazy because you are broke. And then at another point in the month, you become so happy and high as if you are on drugs. Then salarium becomes your dope. If you notice this pattern, then you understand what your tough time is all about and where exactly does this tough time lie. You know where it lies because you know, okay, I'm going to still experience this tough time again. By the time it's time for me to pay some bills, by the time it's time for me to pay some fees, by the time it's time for me to pay some rent. Do you understand the reason why I said understanding the patterns of your life will assist you in going through tough time? You know that even this one will pass. But before another tough time comes, you can be able to predict sometimes, you can be able to understand why this tough time always comes at this time of the year. In fact, Prophet ﷺ said, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri ma amiltu wa min sharri ma lam a'lam wa min sharri ma lam a'mal. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from the evil of what I did and from the evil of what I did not do. The patterns of life is not only in the things that we do, it is also in things that we do not do. So please recognize this, understand your patterns, and this is going to serve as torchlight for your tough time.